Welcome to the bold analysis. Dalmas Otieno, the former Rongo member of parliament, is dead. A close look in Dalmas Otieno's political career paints a picture of a man that should be emulated by the crop of leaders we have now. A man who draws a diagonal against the political grain. The breed we have now needs to stop for a minute. I have seen their condolence messages in the social media spaces. I know now they're planning on how they can attend the funeral and how they can get political bonga points. I know now they are scheming on how they can find a chance to be in the burial committee and make statements here and there. I know they're planning press briefings, but I want you to watch this podcast because I've looked at the political biography, the journey of the politician, the veteran minister, ex-minister, Dalmas Otieno. There is more to be coveted from that man. There is more to be coveted from that man. I looked at his last video that is going viral here. We're going to look at that video and you'll understand really that man. For a minute, we needed to emulate that man. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We do this each and every day because of your support. And remember to visit our foundation channel, which is also a new channel where we cover human interest stories. And at this point, first I want to send my sincere condolences to the family, the children, the relatives of that MP Dalmas Otieno.
Ladies and gentlemen, for coming here. Yes, at about 10 o'clock, we were told that my father was unresponsive. And so one of my brothers, Kevin, went to check on him because he lives closer to him. So when he went there, he called my other brother, Lucas, and then I was called later. Apparently, Mzee was unresponsive. It seems like maybe he was hypoglycemic. So when they tried administering first aid, they didn't register any pulse reading. So what happened is they called the ambulance, and by the time the ambulance came, it was announced that he had passed on. So from that time, we've just been preparing to come here.
I remember in 2014, I was a second year in Masai Mara University. And he visited that university. And he met a caucus of university students from Rongo. And do you know walikuwa napata full scholarship? Oh my goodness. Kina Evans Ouya. Full scholarship. Wachana na hii kitu ya MPs kuchukua check ya 3,000 kuandikia watoto 3,000. Now they're even taking money giving to parents to send to school. Raila Jr. was asking, why don't you send the money to school directly? He was giving full, when sasa ile hata si pesa CDF, alikuwa anatoa pesa kwa mfuko yake because I don't think CDF covers accommodation ya mtu. He really supported them. And after school, quite a number walikata kazi. One we were even doing the same course that went to UK. Itamita Sylvia. So that was a man. I know from a personal experience, that was a man. I want us to look at quickly at some tributes from the leaders here. There is a tribute from former President Uhuru Kenyatta. That's just to tell you how he really cut his nature cross, and President Ruto. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta is saying, "It is with deep sorrow that I have learned the passing of Honorable Dalmas Otieno, a distinguished leader who served his country with dedication and humility. Honorable Otieno was an exemplary statesman whose career in public service spanned decades. As a cabinet minister and member of parliament, he made immense contributions to our nation's social economic development. His calm demeanor, wisdom, and commitment to dialogue set him apart as a leader who always placed Kenya's unity and progress above all else." President Ruto is saying, "Kenya has lost a visionary leader. Waziri Dalmas Otieno served our nation with honor, integrity, and distinction. He was sharp, progressive, industrious, a statesman whose ideas and leadership will continue to shape the generations. His passing is a great loss to our country. May God grant his family, friends, and people of Rongo strength at this difficult time." Honorable Raila-ODM is saying, "It is with the profound sadness that Mama Ida and I have received the news of passing of Honorable Dalmas Otieno Anyango. Honorable Dalmas Otieno, as he was widely known, served as the Member of Parliament for Rongo constituency and held various ministerial positions with dedication. He was a committed public servant who believed deeply in the power of effective, efficient public service as a cornerstone of good governance. During the Grand Coalition government under President Mwai Kibaki, we had the honor of appointing him as a Minister of Public Service, where he played a vital role in reforming, instituting, and performing contracting in public institutions." And we are going to look at all that. Really, that was just taking you through that to see swiftly what it was made of. Now, I want us to listen to this video. There is this video where he's talking about, that is his last video, where he's made some statements there that I want us to recap swiftly. He spoke in Dholuo, but I'm going to translate. Wacha tusikize kwanza, I'm going to give you a snippet of some translation from that.
Kamakora gikeni bedigadieri na sene no mabeyo gimaricho kuom jotelo mang'eny. Aseneno mabeyo gimaricho kuom chama mang'eny. Kasama ji dhi e yiero, miel ne chama ni, ywag ne chama ni, kony chama ni, nyaka chieng' kura, go kura ne chama ni. To kisego kura, koro en maendeleo mar jopiny. Nyocha chako skul kata ne Siala Technical Training Institute. Tadwaro billion abich madwa gero Siala gi equipment te gi dormitories te mondo kel Siala ka ai kabuoro. Adwaro Faculty of Medicine Rongo University ma ane mana chako kake technical school gi pesa na uon. Ngamani kama no sola en nga. Oleng sani modi. Sani adwaro library Rongo University mar $1,600,000. Kingenga madam $1,600,000 sani avia ket library na nyithi university. Mia go samwa wuyen. Adwaro Faculty of Medicine Rongo University mase yudo lo mar eka 100 rakwaro kacha. Adwaro 5 billion shillings Madwagero go Faculty of Medicine Rongo University Hospital Teaching and Referral Hospital Rakwaroka. Naroto wacho na teri jitabaka. Utero jitabaka ni ya ui mogero tabaka godoge chuoka kawa. Kaingi na manyama $1 billion abich sani mar Faculty of Medicine Rongo Teaching and Referral Hospital Rakwaro. Keleira kasani. Sama ueni. Adwaro $1,600,000 magolo tamak kamocha korenya rach kacha market na oboke ka toke kanyo rangu kuro bed margi kain gi ngamadan $1,600,000 mondo barabara ni aringe nywe. Adwaro $1,800,000 madwa golo go tamako papo to kalo nyang'ao ka to biro ndego riedo ka to kalo minyenya to donjo ka magambo kigena madang miya bi wach na kaini Omiyo sa kampen mar siasa en sa tugo. Tug kaka ihero. Yan jomo kidwar kaka ihero. Mak mana kik iketh gimosegere thuru. Ito kanyocha luongo Ruto. An onge ng'ama buoga Kenya ka nikech nyithindo gi ang'e te. Ang'e ng'ama nyalo timo ang'o gi ng'ama ok nyal timo ang'o. Kanyocha koni ni bi nyarach. Madi ni bi chieng' ni yanye ka antie mondo an ba duoki. Tugo koda ing'e Kenya machako gi kanye tigigo kanye. An ma Garissa nyaka Busia. Ang'e maendeleo makuro te. Amoro machuo Turkana. Ang'e gik matimore pinjego te. Akele to nikech oluora owacho ni kotieno kwayo to kik idog chien, nitie gimomiyo Otieno kwayo. Nakone nang'o? Adwaro yo mondo tamak kik reme kore kaka neno ni oa nyarach nyaka oboke. Donge nowacho nyarach kata ni mano biro miyowa? Donge nowacho? Pok otami yiero ODM sasa mihero. Ka ji ochung' yier chama mihero to yora ni be nyaka ger. Donge noyie? Kakone ni Siala Technical Training Institute adwaro ni mondo bed National Polytechnic makadwaro milion 600 tabiro yudo. Donge noyie nyarach kata joma ne nitie? Noyie ni Siala biro bedo National Polytechnic. To kaka noselando kora bet piny gi jopuonj gima wawinjore ni wadwaro en ema pod watere tinyiso CS ma Treasury ni Otieno dhi nyisi pesa mowinje mi Siala Technical Training nyase promote go sani koro en National Polytechnic ma jo Kenya te biro somo Siala kaeni. Itugo koda ang'o misetimo ma ji ha Mombasa ka biro dekuo.
Two things. He's saying, two takeaways there. He's saying, while you are campaigning, you can campaign to that leader wherever you want. You can campaign wherever you want. How you want, you can chant. But after that election, the focus should be on development. That lesson should go to William Ruto straight. You can chant everything, but after that election is done, the focus should be on development. The money we are spending on community empowerment forums, that money should be used for development. A second thing he's also talking about is he told Ruto to build some road there. And because Ruto had a lot of respect for him because of his demeanor, Ruto said that because Otieno has asked, make sure it is done. That was the last time Ruto was in Rongo. You need to ask an MP, if today you are not an MP, or probably look at the current brand of MPs we have. If today my MP Atande is not an MP and is back home, and the president visits, will you attract the demeanor, the respect that Dalmas Otieno attracted? Will you? Will you? So you see how he was a man who was made of the metal and attracted that respect even after leaving public service. How many of your MPs today, if they leave public service, even a president will receive their call? Let me tell you, not even the Kimani Ichung'wah, and may God rest the father of Kimani Ichung'wah in peace. There's some 2-3 lessons. There's some 2 big lessons from that gentleman that we cannot wish away. that throughout his political career, and this is a message to Luo Nyanza, he never really pegged his success on Odingaism, on Odinga family. These are things that, and he's a man who took the Raila-Odinga hegemony and extractive politics in Luo Nyanza. There are politicians today who they peg their politics on Odinga in Luo Nyanza, like it has to be so. And that's why you will hear them saying, Hapa Nyanza, what Raila says is law. You know why they say? They're not saying because they love Raila. They want it to be that way. So that wakati wa election, they will take some money to Odinga in Karen and Odinga to go and lift their hands and through that they're elected. That is not Dalmas Otieno. And I want to show you. He went to parliament in 1988. That was the Mlolongo elections, where he became the first Rongo MP. But through that, having a man that had all his papers well and a man was well educated, he earned his way to President Moi's inner heart and became one of people, or the leaders, him with JJ Kamodo, outside Moi's Kalenjin inner circle that worked closely with Moi. At that point, Oginga Odinga were the men of the hour. Coming 1992, during the multi-party elections, Otieno again stuck with KANU. At that time, it was, and he faced off Nyanza politics. He lost to Linus Alonch Polo of Ford Kenya, who was a party that was headed by Jaramogi. Yes, Alistic, headed by Jaramogi. In 1997 election, he lost again, this time against Ochila Yako, who was running on NDP ticket. President Moi, however, even after all that, and it should also be a lesson that, loyalty pays. Even throughout, and he was sticking with Moi, President Moi nominated him as an MP in parliament and a minister. In the same way Joseph Kamodo, in the same way the Kenya Joseph Kamodo made their way from the opposition stronghold in the Nyanza turf. Dalmas was accused of working with the provincial administration to keep alive the Suba question in disparate divide and rule. And he really faced this, that by that time, the reason why Moi picked him is that he was talking the Suba question and was also doing two things. He was doing used to two things. One, to shelve the Suba from the Luo, despite the fact that the assimilation had happened more than 200 years ago, and also to talk the issue of Suba. And this was a strategy to extract, or rather to separate Suba and Kuria from the Nilotic Luo aspect, so that the state would get some members there. His political, in 2007, is when he went back to ODM. And that was after it died. He went to ODM and got his seat as an MP, and was also elected, and he was also appointed as a minister in the Grand Coalition government in charge of head of public service. And there is some report on his transformation, the next agenda I'm going to look at, next lesson I'm going to look at. I'm going to talk about it there. Again, in 2013, he defended that seat on ODM. So in 2014, he was accused of, and that politics of, after elections, we can do all that, but we need to look development. After 2013, Raila-Odinga was continuing with agitation, the political agitation against William Ruto. Remember, between 2013 and 2017, I think that was the point he was the strongest opposition leader of our time. Because this was again maybe better than Kwamdogo, and the space was not that elaborate. So, that time, Dalmas went and started working with former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And because of that, Odinga team felt uncomfortable. And in 2014, Oburu Odinga, his elder brother, told a meeting in Rongo in 2014 that Dalmas has never really been on the side of Odinga, but he has always been on the other side, and he joined them pretending to be sincere, but turned their back on him. I remember him with Samuel Arama, the Nakuru West MP, Ken Obura, the Kisumu Central, Zainab Chizuga, Kwale Women Rep, were almost to be removed from committees because they were allegedly betraying the ODM party. For a man who considered himself the alternative in the restive Nyanza region, he really made his way. So that's when he formed the Kalausi, which is whirlwind in the Luo, which tried to sweep Odingaism out of Nyanza. But the movement, which included Oyugi Magwanga, the deputy governor of Homa Bay, who was vying for Kasipul Kabondo MP. Hapa mali nani amekufa sahi, mali wanafanya by election sahi. Oyugi Magwanga was vying for that position. And it also had the likes of and it had Oyugi Magwanga that failed to take off, and then was also in 2017 vying to unseat Cyprian Awiti for the Homa Bay governor. So that is the one lesson. He took his stand, something that people lack. So when he decided in 2014 to work with Odinga, he also stuck there. The transformation in public service
was very much pro-educational success. And that educational success made the whole area of his constituency by then got it right. And several students were sponsored through Honorable Dalmas. Dalmas has also brought to us Rongo University here, which people were just dreaming, could it be? And all those he brought, and KCB Bank, people could not remember that those could happen here. With my age, may I tell you, if not Dalmas bringing to us here in Rongo, that KBC, the Rongo people would have not got the banking system moved nearer to them.
Dalmas has given us what we cannot even now tell. One, as an employee of a government, Dalmas brought us the 60 years retirement age from 55. I think all Kenyans will remember him for that. Up to date, we are getting that. His brain brought this when he was in that government of Kibaki. We can still remember him as workers of this country. But Dalmas brought this 60 years retirement age. That is one thing as workers of this country.
Remember Honorable Dalmas for so many things. One, he stood for education. And at one point he had a project that he saw over 400 students go through university through his initiative. He made sure that all children who were orphaned, and that's why he brought the CCF, that Christian Children's Fund. And more so, we live to remember him as a mentor to many of us. Sit with him and you become clever. Talk to him and you'll get something more that will help you throughout your entire life. He is remembered with actually he's a man who did a lot to the community. He made sure that all children, everybody, received education. He knew that education was the equalizer. And right now that I'm talking, we have so many people in good positions who came from very poor background, but courtesy of his program. Otherwise, let him rest in peace.
I looked at that part. This was very flowery. Between 2013 to 2007 to 2028, he was in the speaker's panel, where his demeanor was really attractive and made very good decisions by that time when they were with Kenneth Marende as the speaker. For his moderate demeanor, in his public service and career and KANU connection, President Kenyatta appointed him as a special envoy on South Sudan in 2014 even though he was a senior member of the opposition. And when back in 2018, when the Migori senator died, that is Ben Oluchokelo, the former Rabogi presenter, died, he wanted to go to vie for that seat on the National Liberal Party NLP ticket, but withdrew from that race. But instead was appointed as the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. So what he did, he had an option to go vie for Senate by election or take the Salaries and Remuneration Commission appointment. Now what you did, he opted for SRC job. Why? Because when he was the head of public service, when he was the Minister of Public Service during the Grand Coalition government, he's the person who introduced the SRC. Before it was then put in the 2010 Constitution, he's the one who brought it in the minds of the country. And that time, Mr. Otieno argued that he had a personal connection with the SRC because he was the one who established it as a minister for public service to help manage the wage bill. So this SRC is the person who introduced it. Still in the public service, and is there something that your MP anaweza kumbukwa nayo? Ama na kukumbuka kuvote finance bill na kusema sisi we are deeply tight and tighter. As a minister in 2011, he launched digitized government services under the Integrated Records Management System, ARMIS. The first step towards paperless record management to deal with problems missing files and failure by government to record to correspondence from citizens. IRMS tracked mail and files in public service, enabling officers to receive files on their desks, access and download the information and move later to the system. He did his part. He did his part. And if you want to know about his track record, listen to this video of his villages. The video from the villages is already a confirmation that the track record was something that was big from him. There's so much to emulate from that man. He has proven that political agitation without development is zero work. You can agitate, but beyond it, you should also be development oriented. His advocacy in education, I think, has been more impactful. And even in that speech, you can see the passion, the way he's talking about that Rongo University to build the library. You can really feel he really means it when he says, I want this to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for supporting this podcast. And we continue to condole with the family of late Minister Dalmas Otieno. Thank you.